It is important somewhere like Knowle West that people can, if they want to, access the internet and give it their own input, make their own digital stories, have their own websites and such like. The kind of press we get from, you know, the newspapers, the television, that is often quite negative about Knowle West. But the people here, they can have a chance to put their own voice to it, they can put their own ideals across, and I think that's good for the self-esteem of the community.
For me, making a digital story is, for me personally, I've gone on to do more things, things I wouldn't even think about doing. I can pick up a computer and I use a mouse now, which I'd never be too frightened to before. Just a silly thing like that, to other people who use them daily, they wouldn't understand, but for someone who don't know nothing about computers, it's scary to touch them. But now if I see something that says do this or do that, I'm not frightened to do it. And it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge, and there's got to be a lot of people like me out there who could use that, you know, and for them as well, it'd help them.
I took part in a domestic violence website where we went round to different women's groups and men's groups and shared our stories regarding domestic violence, and that was all put onto the web, onto a site for Knowle West, and it made a huge difference. It made a lot of women realise they weren't alone, and men realise they weren't alone. It meant that reporting actually went up in the area and things were being done. We put a no-nonsense guide on what different organisations could do. So whether they would get rehoused, whether they would, you know, whether social services would be involved, and it just cut a lot of the jargon out. It cut a lot of the, it dispelled a lot of the myths around domestic violence as well.
Nazreen in Pakistan is an MP in Peshawar, and she is a sociologist. And with my being a community worker, both have a similar interest in working with women and understand women's issues within the areas we work. We've been able to exchange and learn from each other on how we work and basically politically how it impacts ourselves as individuals, but also sort of locally and globally.
Years ago, if there was going to be an election, whether it was for MPs or local councillors, there would be public meetings held where people could ask questions and give them a hard time before deciding whether they were going to vote for that person or not. And I can see, providing there's no block put on it, that same thing could happen through digital communications, because you could have a question and answer thing going on through that communication. And then people might see and feel that they're getting an answer to their questions and not being palmed off.
I think being part of the digital challenge would be a real benefit to young people in Knowle West, because it will mean that there'll be more availability to use the digital media, and like myself, who's managed to go into employment using media, they can do the same thing. They can come and learn skills and then go into lots of different fields. And even if it just gives them the confidence to, you know, go into an interview and, you know, feel like they know what they're doing and stuff, then that's great, because, you know, that they would have had an opportunity not necessarily was available before.
I was chosen out of the whole school to do a film about nature.
The film made me feel more confident.
It was a good achievement.
We got to go to a different place and it was different being filmed.
I enjoyed acting more than I did.
You got to work together and it's not easy.
She knows what we can do, so she knows if we could be more responsible things. Film made me feel more proud of myself.
I've achieved something on my target. I've got a list and I've crossed one off.
Tick one off would be better.
I feel like I've got something to be proud of now as well.
I never thought I'd have the nerves to do.
I've noticed that there is more to filmmaking than what we realise it is.
And I realise why Tom Cruise is paid so much now.
Before this, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, but now I know that I want to work with the youth, and I want to, I started taking photography A-level at college, and I'm more interested in different things now. And I've got a chance to go to university, and like I never ever thought about going to university before getting involved in the community stuff. So maybe this has helped me make up my mind.
I think Knowle West should be part of the digital challenge because we've done so much at the Knowle West Media Centre, you know, including myself. And as much as people say that we're not a very good, a good place, or they just always put us down because we're a deprived area, I think it'd be good to actually get our point across and show them that there is good things about Knowle West.
For the last generations of Knowle West that I've grown up in, so my dad was on the estate, his dad, and me now my children. Over the years, there's always been a lack of facilities, lack of everything in the area, and there's nothing that ever thought that you could achieve more. If the digital challenge, or whatever it is, came to the estate, then we'd be a forerunner nationally, if not, no, definitely locally, but nationally possibly. And that could only be brilliant for the area, and it would give the raising of self-esteem that I've seen in my own child. I think I would see it in all the children. And if that could bring them up, even if it's only to national standards, would be fantastic. But if we could raise them above national standards and show Bristol, South Bristol, Knowle West to be a forerunner, then it shows that the whole country that this is possible wherever. Because if we can do it, then everybody else can do it.